Hello, everybody. Brian here from quantlabs.net. Made some big discoveries today. I'm going to talk about them. I should say this morning. Today is February 3rd. Always a reminder, DVD's out. Been out for a while now. How to Trade Like a Boss. Get it over at the quantlabs.net/DVD. Okay, you can get that there. We got the books now, quantlabs.net/books. Those are free again. So we're going to do an interesting talk here. Let me just pull up my screen. Just so you know, this will be the last stream probably on StreamYard for today. So as I said, there's a site for the DVD, the book. You can get it free now. So let's get down and dirty. So I put up some photos today or images up on Instagram today. When I started around 9 o'clock, I started watching on this piece of software. You can get that in the books that I've highlighted. This piece of software to show you the percent gainers. So I worked off of that for a little bit. I did do the same test on Friday. And then we started watching some of the winners, which came out to one of these, which was called... can't remember the name of it, doesn't matter. But it started showing pre-market to move up in price, and things started to look good. And then I started doing the old manual way, like probably most people, is to put out what I think would be the potential winners by looking at all of these. The one that I just showed you, Priors, STLC, STL, STKL. I can't remember. My writing's atrocious. And was results pre-market. These are all the charts I'm about to show are all minute based. And this is what we look really, really good. At the same time, I'm using a new trial starting today called trade-idea.com or trade-ideas.com. And I started using that, and I'll tell you the software I just showed you is nowhere as good as Trade Ideas because I knew what I was looking for. So this is the first window I looked at looking for. This is like as soon as the market opens at 9:30 a.m. prior today. So when the market opens up, what happens is it's like a bunch of horses that you're picking, lining up, waiting to which ones will be the winner within the first hour of the market open. So it's pretty overwhelming to watch that. So you got to figure out where to go, how to do it, what to look for. And I'll tell you, if you don't know what you're doing, you will be easily overwhelmed. So up came the next set of winners. So the key here is to look at the titles of each window. So here in Trade Ideas, we have at the title of the window is top gainers by 4%. So there is that option. So that's what I started focusing on. But then you started getting winners, you started getting losers, and then in here is what you're looking for. But you cannot sort by the volume or any of these columns. I don't think are sortable when you click them at the top. I don't know why they would do that, but whatever. So you're still kind of being overwhelmed here. And I put out some videos on this. I don't know if I should play them, but if you want them, they're over at, again, the Quantlabs Net Instagram channel. You can get them there. This is the order I went through. So the place to look at, and this is really key here, are by volume. You can see here last 5 minutes by volume. So when you look at this chart right here, this window, this is the key between the gapper window and Trade Idea and this window as well. So it's up by up in 5 minutes. These are the lowest you can go, and you can look at these volumes here. So you clearly have, let me just play it. Maybe this might be so you have BMI and INSM. So what you can do here is you cross-reference it by volume and performance. And you can see here that BMI and ISN are both in there. in the by volume. So those are the ones that started looking at. Those are the ones that started to be the winners by volume and what the total winners were. So that is pretty well the key of it all, is the winner and the gapper. So that is how you can do it. Let's go back here. Let's pull up another window here. So volume, again, volume and gappers right around 9:30 makes the freaking difference. Okay. So coming back in here, that's what I started focusing on. And I'm going to show you those winners. They were INSM. And there was another one that showed up as well, which was Zoom Media. I'm only interested in ones where stocks are less than $5, let's say. And you can see here, BMI confirmed top US performer verified by the volume. So you can see here, this is the performance here of it. And I just shot up. And that can be verified by looking at the stock performer, the gapper specifically within 10 minutes over 4%. And again, making reference to all of these windows here with Trade Idea, that is for sure confirmed working once you get a winner picked out. From there, what you can do then is also another key, obviously, is price action to confirm everything. But from what I've learned from the gurus is, so that's INSM there, which is no performance. It shot up, but it just dried up after that. So the only winner out of that lot was INSM. But I also identified one other one as well, which I'll show you here. These are the snapshots from within MotiveWave. So let me show MotiveWave right here. So this was INSM. Okay, so you're looking at a minute chart. Okay, it just shot up. Okay, and it dried up. Part of the thing is you got to look at the action of when to go in on the entry. The first entry is usually the first pullback. I'll show you the charts. But when you go in and you look at the first pullback, that's usually the time they go in. So here it is. So you see the pre-market, it builds up. You get these big bar moves on minute moves. And then just at 9:30, it dips. And that's when you can go in right here. And then after a while, as the market settles, it'll shoot up. So we're talking in around, let's say, 490 to 654. And then there's a second pullback, and it moved up a little bit. But from what I'm learning, the first time is usually the very first pullback is where you want to get in, and it'll jump from there. So those are your entry points, and then the exit here is fairly easy. From a MotiveWave, I'm going to be testing a couple of out-of-box strategies. I think I got one to sort of test this, and I've got a combination of other studies that enable you to watch those exit points on this kind of run up. So the theory is on the first pullback along here is the time to go in when you have the winner driven by volume, but the timing is key. And as I hinted at what you got to look for in the pre-market here, and this is what I need to look at. Because you could have quite a lot of pre-market stocks which show potential that it will move up. Okay, so that's BMI. Another one that came out of nowhere was ZM, Zoom Media. This one's a classic mover as well. This is a much pricier stock, as you can see, around 78, 84. So this is where it started at 74 and just shot up. But you see there's very little pre-market. I mean, there's a gap up here. So this is what you're looking for on the gap ups. At 7:30, January 31st, very little volume along here, and then on the minute chart, that's what you're looking for, the gap ups. And then what you're really looking for are the volume drivers. So you can see here that this is what will spike right here on your TradeIdeas.com as those volumes drive up. So that should get flagged on your trading idea and have some form of alert to alert you that this one just came out of nowhere. And for me, it was just luck to be able to identify it. And then you can see the performance, but the performance on this first move up, it didn't catch that first leg up. But what we got to try to identify is not just what happens pre-market, but trying to figure out what to look for as a pattern to say, yes, this is a very strong, likely winner on the open. Okay, so entries can happen, but here, somewhere in here, something drove up the price. Could have been news. I have to look at that. But ZM and BMI are the ones that seem to win today. This one looked good. You can see here, price was driven up from 21 to 31, and it just tailed off. So who knows where that came from. Let's see here. VXRT, another one. This is a false positive, folks. You can see the pre-market. It did shoot up, but again, there was no. Well, I guess this is your pre-market right here to buy in, and then it just drove up, and that went from $1.40 to $1.65, so roughly a 20% move. FHI, again, 930. There's some pre-market stuff here. It did move up, but it just didn't have that classic, and only moved up from $36 to about $37. So it was not a big mover. INSM we've talked about. CRMQ, again, you don't see anything in there that really says I'm going to be driven up as compared to ZM. You can see it's driven up here on the prior market day. And then BMI, some activity here, but who knows? That's pretty hard to catch. All right, so I've shown you all of these. Look at the PCG. Again, you can see some really good pre-market activity here, like really good, gapping up. That would look good. That would probably throw you off. And here you go. You get caught up in the first entry here on the pullback, but it didn't go anywhere. Now, I'm not saying that this will go anywhere, but you can see that this performer is just not a performer. It's 1616. Peaked at 1690 and current at 1669, so it hasn't done a whole lot. ARTL, I think, again, really good pre-market, but it just didn't go anywhere. But there was a nice spike up at the beginning, and I think that's why most people will tell you always wait it out for the market to settle at 945 roughly, in around there. You can confirm that with ZM. First pullback here, so that it could take 5 minutes, it could take 10 minutes. Here our time is at 9:39, so maybe 10 minutes. BMI, another winner. So again, we had the dip right at the open, so the pre-market or the pullback really happened right at the open. So you think that may be your pullback, and then you may just think, oh, it's just another false start. But again, you can see here right at 9:45, man, that's when it started to take off. And there's all these different random patterns here, and you can see here moves up and just dies off, and then pre-market it moves up, doesn't gap up, but it does spike up, and that's a winner. That's a winner, but yet you look at all these other ones, totally random to work from. This one just came out of nowhere. That could be manipulated for all I know. Well, I don't think it would be. Just looking at the stock price, I have to look at the market cap. But It's really hard to gauge a pattern here. PCG, again, this is another false start. Looks good, first 4 bars, looking good, but then it just dies off and goes flat. ARTL, same thing. BMI, we looked at. PLX, you can see here there's just virtually no volume. I mean, it's dried up. It's pretty well dead. So that didn't go anywhere. That's why you get all these massive gaps. This one was a winner. This one looked like it could move up, but just again not enough volume here. So on the minute leading up to the 9:30, here's your pre-market. Look at here, and that's the one from the first software product I showed you, the open source one. Spikes up and it dies off, and then you can see again no volume, virtually no volume. So key here is volume and volume, market cap are major factors, because what drives up those prices are definitely volume. You don't see the volume here, but something's driving it up. And the BMI, again, the volume didn't really kick in until after that first pullback. And then again, next pullback, people try. This is probably the dumb money that sees it on Trade Ideas, thinking that this is going to continue to go up. It kind of did, but it went nowhere. And look what happens. Where you want to be is right at the beginning of those pullbacks, because that's where you'll catch them. And look at the run up. I mean, this is a big run up. 490 to 720 it peaked at. So you're almost more than going up 50% in a matter of within an hour. I mean, that's an amazing run up, but what do I know? So thing is, you gotta look at, the hard part is looking for those winners and catching them on something like TI here that I've got running. I just showed you in the Instagram. So if I was to show you some of these photos, images, I should say, let me just see the Neo. You see the spikes. You definitely see the spikes, but as you say, activity is the first half hour, maximum an hour, and then tails off. Okay, so from my perspective, let me just get out of that. What really matters is volume. Right at the beginning, looking for the volume and having a pretty damn good scanner to find that, and be able to cross-reference that against your gappers. I think that's the easiest. What I was going to do is I just got this new TI account, tradingideas.com, and it works. I don't know if it's worth, well, it probably is worth the money, because I've been looking last week looking for any kind of gapper type of scanner that really works. The only one that I've seen is this TI. So that seems to work, and volume. That's it. That's all it is. Pre-market, I'll continue looking at, but being able to just pile in based upon those due data points, that's pretty well the key of it all. You could pay thousands of dollars for teaching and guru and all that educational stuff. I think it's the way it's looking. It's all BS. Another thing I need to mention, I'm going to be playing around a lot more, is the AI features of TI. So far, I don't like them. I don't think they work. But so far, if they were working, I'd see them working on the open from today. Didn't happen. I don't like the features. Out of box, it's not working. So I think right now, for me to sit here and tell you what works, to confirm it, and I'm going to do it again tomorrow throughout the week. I got 14 days with this TI trial. I do think it's gappers and winners. Gappers and volume right out of the gate, and that's what you got to look for. You got to look at your high volume and cross-reference against the gappers and watch it, and maybe apply an automated strategy to watch that. for the entry. Like once you put on your strategy, you let it run with some capital and let it run, and then it will determine when the exit will be. Or as I said here, here you have a small pullback, so that would work. And the other one on BMI, definitely this pullback here was a winner too. So that seems to be the condition. So the AI, maybe long term, I think it's just basically pissing in the wind as it stands right now. I'll try to figure it out, but I do think the simple way, the really drilling it right down, the simple way is on your first pullback to confirm it, which will take about 5-10 minutes after the open, and then look for the high volume and cross-reference that with your gappers and your performers, your gainers, and that's it. And that's what you look for, at least on any stock, because from what I'm seeing, all the movement was in the first hour, maybe half hour. Everything else is flattened out. And you may, if I was to pull up right now, TI, and look at the volume, what's moving right now, I don't think you'll get, I don't think you'll get the, I really don't think you'll get anything else simpler than that. All this other stuff may be, as I said, pissing in the wind. And people may not like it, but I want to work with what's simple and what works as a pattern. And so far, what I'm seeing using TI, again, gainers and volume, gainers, gappers, and volume, and confirming it with the price action, looking for those pullbacks. But you got to be fast, because it is very overwhelming very quickly when you see all these stocks come out of nowhere at 9:30 on the open. Can this be applied to other markets? I'm going to be honest, I don't think it will, because I've looked at, again, markets, I've looked at the movers, but they don't, it comes back to, let me think here. This one right here. This is what you'll get most likely in other foreign markets. You might get the movers, you might get the gainers, but you're going to get all these little gaps here, minute by minute. And that's because, again, it's a lack of volume. Okay? So that, again, you may be pissing in the wind there as well. You have to be, I think, on a large, fast-moving exchange or region. Namely, that will be obviously the U.S. at 9:30 coming out of New York, because that's where most of the volume is. You may get the same activity with UK, London, maybe, but we know that U.S. and New York are the largest exchanges in the world for this type of pattern. Not sure if there's any questions. I'm going to shut up now, but that's what I'm discovering. I'm going to continue going through this throughout the week. As I said, the TI trading idea volume I have is it's 14 days. So if there's no questions here, I'm going to continue looking at stuff. But I will say, in the meantime, I haven't looked at the crypto yet, but man, the crypto has been moving very quickly. It's been doing really well. Other stuff that I got going on, I've got my survey now for those interested in the workshop. We will be launching this bad boy here, right here, this guy right here, on Amazon in the next couple of days. That's the goal. That's the DVD. And as I said as well, if you're watching here on whatever, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, I will be probably my last day with this service. It's good, but I'm not getting really any benefit out of it. I was hoping to get some folks out of it, but I know how social media works, where people just flicks through stuff. There's no value to me. I'd rather be where the buyers are. That's on Amazon, and focus on them. And believe me, folks doing this on their social media will not pay the bills. And I'm just showing you this right here, what I'm discovering with MotiveWave is very powerful. I'm seeing a lot of interesting stuff. I've got 4 trades right now, 5 with Forex that I've been holding for a while. They've been doing well. Crypto's been doing pretty good lately with a big 5. I'd like to see with MotiveWave a wider selection on another exchange, but hey man, right out of the gate with Bitstamp, thumbs up for it. And I'm pretty happy there. Moving forward again, I'm trying to make my life simpler. I don't want to complicate it with all these. I went through spreadsheets. I had one that had over 100 algorithms for one answer. I'm getting at what I'm seeing here. Also, there's pre-screening, coding it up for Thinkorswim, I think it was. You know, again, we're going to see if this pattern works and holds throughout the week. We had a pretty good test last week with the markets dropping. I think it was on Friday, so we tested there. There was opportunity there. So, yeah, it's good. This may be a winner. And if it does, then I'll deploy definitely some capital and put it at risk. But I'm not going to complicate my life right now with all these big algorithms and stuff. It just doesn't. I've been doing it for too long to really play around with that stuff. Any questions or stuff? We got 12:30. No one's wanting to participate. That's cool. So we'll see what happens. That's one of the reasons I'm getting rid of this service, because what can I do, right? Other than that, I'll give it a bit. But again, here's the DVD right there. Oh, right there. I do like this service, though. StreamYard's good. But let's go back to what I used to do. That's pretty well it. Anybody got any questions, type them up now. Let's see how our winners do it. Zoom Media's flat. Had a great open. BMI was the other one from a stock. Same story. Just went flat. It may build some support. May go up. Who knows? But there's so much random. Maybe manipulated. Could be some news driven. Who knows? There's so many other factors I've not talked about when it comes to looking at stuff like bid-ask spread, bid-ask volume, like level 2 stuff, which I have. I can analyze that through order flow. Obviously, news is another one that will drive these things up. So I'll be looking for those. But I'll be talking about only today, this week, because, I might just start putting up some charts or something. I don't know. If there's no questions, I am going to drop off. I need to get my coffee. Anybody got any questions? So I'll wrap up here. If not, in the meantime, let me see here. We have the book, as I mentioned here, quantlabs.net. That's it. Quantlabs.net. That's all you need to do. That will get you on the book for the free stuff, as well. As I said, I've got the DVD as well. That's doing okay. The book's doing not bad. And our next webinar will be next week, a week from now, quantlabs.net. Just to put you out there, that will only be live streamed on my Facebook channel, Facebook page at quantlabs.net. So hopefully, maybe I might see you there. I don't know. But since there's no questions or anything, that's cool. We'll leave it at that. And thanks for watching. Have yourselves a good day. Thanks for joining me on StreamYard, but we'll go back to what we used to do. I may see you on Amazon later.